This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. On the night of our engagement, my girlfriend jumped off a building with another man. The system prompted, "Would you like to rewind time?" Countless times, I chose yes. I finally saved my girlfriend, but I also saw her clearly, and I no longer loved her because there was someone else. She had waited for me for so many years. I loosened my tie, my smile rigid. The engagement dinner, which should have started at 7 p.m., had been delayed until 8:30 p.m., and Haley still hadn't arrived. The gazes of all the guests, like fire, scorched me. I didn't look like the gracious host at all, but rather a clown rushing around to fix things, especially my parents, who were somewhat well-known. Their faces were particularly grim at this moment. Haley's father chuckled dryly, saying, "Rocky, just bear with it a bit longer. Haley has always been thoughtless, but she'll definitely come." Looking at the sea of roses and the 9-tiered black swan cake, the more luxurious the venue, the more disoriented I felt. "Haley, where on earth are you?" A sharp pain shot through my mind, and my memory returned. I suddenly remembered that I had experienced this scene countless times. From the time I dressed up to the point of public humiliation, my Haley had quietly gone to the Empire State Building to meet a man who had loved her for 10 years, Tony. She didn't know that she and Tony would eventually jump from the rooftop. She also didn't know that their deaths would forever trap me in this night. Haley and I met in college. I fell in love with her kindness, accompanied her to do volunteer work, sent supplies to mountain areas, and set up cat and dog shelters. I also took her on a hot air balloon in Cappadocia, screaming as we looked at the mountains. All her suitors retreated, except for Tony. He had been pursuing Haley since high school, but Haley always disliked him, saying he was extreme and too much of a high-ranking official's son. After Haley and I went public, he became even more persistent, sending messages and making phone calls, threatening to kill himself. Haley couldn't bear to delete him, worried he would do something foolish. I found Tony, warned him, and he disappeared after that. Who would have thought that on the night of my engagement, he would reappear? I checked my watch. Every time my memory returned, Haley was already dead. How many times had this cycle repeated? Countless. Uncountable. Every time Haley chose to meet Tony. Every time I could only see two corpses, waiting for the cold system prompt. Would you like to rewind time? Every time I chose yes. So tired, but just once. If only she had chosen me once, she wouldn't have to die, and I could end this endless cycle. I lowered my head, physically and mentally exhausted. From the initial hysteria upon hearing the news of her death, it had been worn down into the current numbness. Haley had never chosen me, not once. The doors of the venue were suddenly thrown open. Serena, panting, dragging Haley by the hand, appeared at the doorway. I instantly felt dizzy and let out a low groan, unable to control myself. The scene, repeated countless times, had changed tonight. Haley was actually alive. She had been brought back by Serena. I hoarsely called out, "Haley." She impatiently shook off Serena's hand and ran towards me. As the protagonists entered, the guests cheered, and Haley's father constantly wiped his forehead with a handkerchief. However, Haley nestled into my arms, her voice urgent. "Honey, we can't have this party. Tony said if you dared to propose, he'd jump. He's still standing on the rooftop now." Before I could speak, she broke free from my embrace and stood in the center of the venue, bowing deeply. "I'm sorry, everyone, for the trouble. Tonight's banquet is canceled." Her direct and rude dismissal of the guests was like a punch to the face of those who had waited so long. I stood there, stunned as if struck by lightning. She was so impatient. She didn't even wait for my answer. Before ruining the engagement banquet that had been meticulously planned for a month, I had thought that after countless cycles, she had finally chosen me once. The entire hall was deathly silent, with only the melodious and light canon violin playing, the musician looking awkward, unsure whether to continue or stop. My parents, already embarrassed, stood up and left without a word. Haley's father, sweating profusely from anxiety, followed them. With the guests dispersed, their family's reputation was pretty much shattered tonight. Haley's father slapped Haley across the face and roared, "Do you think this is a game? You just say no, and it's canceled. Have you lost your mind?" Haley just looked at me guiltily. "Honey, you'll understand me, right?" I couldn't understand. What Tony did had nothing to do with me, but to wait for an outcome where you were alive. I had even worn away despair in endless cycles. I asked her, "Who's more important, me or him?" She said anxiously, "Of course, you. Me? But you've never chosen me. Not even now." A surge of anger suddenly rose in my heart. Then why bother with him? If he jumps every time, does that mean we'll never get married in this lifetime? She shook her head desperately, tears welling up in her eyes. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" He told me not to say. I suppressed the anger in my heart. "You wanted to embarrass me, didn't you? Did he also tell you to block my number? You listened to everything he says. Did you ever consider my feelings?" Her eyes filled with tears, her face full of grievance. "Can't we just postpone it for a bit and restart in a few days?" I was so angry I laughed, pointing at the luxurious venue. "Are we going to make our whole family look like monkeys again?" My phone rang. An unsaved number. She bit her lower lip, glanced at me quickly, and answered the phone. Don't do anything rash. I'm coming. I'll be right there. Haley's father slapped her again, cursing, You're still talking to that lunatic. Honey, I know you hate me right now, but I have to go save him. She cried as she ran out the door. In my mind, the system voice sounded, Would you like to rewind time? These 6 cold words. I hesitated for the first time. Serena stopped her at the door. Haley lost her patience and yelled at her, It's all your fault. I've already come back with you to explain to everyone. What more do you want? Can you two have some humanity? He's about to jump. Do you want me to live with a guilty conscience forever? Haley's father coughed violently from anger and was about to hit her again, but I blocked his hand. I was tired and angry, yet surprisingly calm, to prevent future troubles. Only by understanding the whole situation now could I save her life. Who she chose no longer mattered. Haley confessed that Tony had always secretly contacted her, pouring out the pain of unrequited love, worried that I would be angry. Haley had also helped him keep it a secret, besides the proposal. What else did he say? He lost his investment and heard about our engagement. He said he might as well die. After all, he loved me for 10 years. I couldn't be indifferent. Debt and lost love. Someone as arrogant as Tony could very likely go mad and take Haley with him to end it all. How much did he lose? Haley looked at me pleadingly. For 100,000. I understood what she meant, but I couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Only 400,000? Damn. The customized cake tonight cost far more than that. I transferred 500,000 to her card. Give him the money. Tell him to come down. Haley's eyes lit up. She hurriedly made a call, then cried, His phone's off. He left a message saying if I don't come in 10 minutes, I should prepare to collect his body. I'll take you there. No. He said he only wants to see me. And no police either. If he sees a police car, he'll jump immediately. Serena couldn't hold back. If he wanted to jump, he would have already. I gestured for silence. I'll drop you off nearby, and you can go up to find him. Arriving at the parking lot, Serena apologized as we walked, saying she drove too fast when she was looking for someone, and hit a flower bed. The headlights were severely damaged, a shocking sight. Switching to my sports car, Haley kept urging me to hurry. Once you're upstairs, immediately tell him. You'll help him pay off his debt. She softly agreed, and kissed me on the cheek. Honey, you're so good. I remained silent. Haley didn't notice anything unusual about me. Instead, a smile appeared on her lips, and stars lit up in her eyes. Honey, don't be angry anymore. I often think, if we're too happy, we should share our excess happiness, and make those who like us feel happy too. My breathing stopped. She got out of the car and ran straight towards the Empire State Building, not even looking back at me, as if performing a supreme and sacred act of redemption. I looked at her in disbelief, as if she were a stranger. The system prompt disappeared. I also grinned, tears streaming down my face. Share? Excess? Happiness? Every word was like a knife piercing my heart. The grand banquet I spent a month preparing, my eagerly anticipated engagement vows, the 500,000 I just transferred, and even the lost face of your family. All of this was excess happiness? My countless time rewinds. Were they merely to fulfill your sharing happiness? I finally got a new ending. Finally saved Haley, but it felt worse than death. Serena drove Haley's parents over. Haley's father anxiously rubbed his hands, then stomped his foot. Rocky, we're so sorry to your family. I'm going up to teach them a lesson right now. Don't go up and make things worse. It's fine. Serena stood silently beside me, hesitating for a long time. Senior, shall we go? My heart was dead, and I got into the car. Haley's father pounded on the car window. Rocky, please tell your parents-in-law that we'll be over to apologize immediately. I couldn't be bothered to look at him. Senior, where to? Back to the office. To summarize recent work. To make this engagement perfect, I participated in designing many aspects, so work was inevitably neglected. At this moment, the custom Bulgari engagement ring still lay quietly in my embrace. It was supposed to be presented to Haley amidst a rain of petals. She told me not to use a tray, but to take it out from my left embrace, symbolizing the most sincere heart being delivered to her. It turned out that these, too, were excess happiness. Senior, how about we go clear your head? No, I'm fine. Senior, shut up. I turned off my phone, emptied my mind, and unconsciously fell asleep. I was awakened by the sound of waves. It was pitch black all around, the car door wide open, and the sha-sha of waves came in rhythmic bursts. I was alone in the car, Serena's jacket draped over me. I felt a bit disoriented, wondering how I ended up by the sea after waking up. Driving here, the nearest beach would take at least 4 hours, wouldn't it? Soon, I saw Serena returning, her phone light on, a smiling expression on her face. Surprise, surprise. I looked at her speechlessly. All right, Boss Rocky, how can you work in this state? Why not sit down and calm your mind for a bit? She turned on her phone's flashlight and showed me the seashells in her hand. What time is it? It's almost dawn. Give me the car keys. Just a little longer. I've been driving half the night. Just wanted to see the sunrise. However, the weather was uncooperative. It was cloudy. I returned to the office by noon. Haley's parents were still in the reception room. Last night, they were turned away and couldn't find me, so they had to wait at the company all night. Haley's mother's hair was disheveled, her face haggard. Rocky, you're finally back. We were so worried about you. Now, free from the cycle, having had a good night's sleep, I felt refreshed and couldn't think of anything to worry about. Annie and Uncle, is something wrong? My tone was distant, and they both froze. Haley's father's eyes were bloodshot. He was anxious and guilty. It's our fault. We caused you to lose face. When Haley comes back, I'll make her kneel and apologize to your parents. I paused. She hadn't returned yet? Serena leaned in and whispered. Haley refused to leave. Tony still wants to jump. Don't worry. I've already arranged for someone to watch him. I laughed wryly. That's good. Show them out. Serena immediately put on her cold, elite secretary face. The company doesn't discuss personal matters. Please leave. Haley's mother stood up. Rocky, don't be angry. You know Haley best. She's just too soft-hearted. I shook my head. The one who knows her best isn't me. It's Tony. Haley's mother's face turned pale, and Haley's father cursed loudly. Those two scoundrels. I'll beat them to death. Rocky, you get some rest first. Calm down. Haley's mother wanted to say more, but Haley's father pulled her away. Serena handed me a cup of coffee. Uncle H is actually quite a good person. Back home, Haley, wearing an apron, came to greet me. Honey, you're back? Her face was a bit swollen and red, likely from another slap from her father. She was good at feigning weakness. In reality, she feared no one inside, except her father. I walked around her towards the living room, and she rushed over, crying and whining, her eyes innocent. Honey, are you still angry? Honey, I used to fall for this, but now I only felt annoyed and disgusted. I pushed her away from me. The one thing I care about most. It's not about saving him or not. It's that you'd rather cooperate with him, yet you kept it from me the entire time. She cried even louder. I was just afraid you'd get angry, and I hate him too. How touching. But was it hatred or reluctance? After all, he loved you for 10 years, right? She cried uncontrollably, saying it was a human life, that we could get engaged again, but his death would be terrifying, and she would feel like she had caused his death. I smiled silently. Is death terrifying? In that endless cycle, death was not terrifying at all. Yet, it was quite ironic. My self-proclaimed tragic cycle. The truth was merely suicide over debt, dragging someone down with you. Haley saw my silence, leaned into my ear, and nibbled gently, moaning softly. I felt disgusted and shook her off. A man's heart, from infatuation to indifference, only takes a moment. Haley, we're over. Her face turned ashen, and she shook my arm. Honey, don't scare me. I pried her hands off and went back to my room. After showering, my mom finally called me, saying my dad was still fuming, so I shouldn't go home and bother him for now. She told me to think about how to handle things myself. There was a knock on the door. Haley pleaded from outside. Honey, I'm scared to sleep alone. I'm afraid. I hung up the phone, ignoring her, and she began to sob softly outside the door. Honey, you weren't like this before. You said you'd spoil me for a lifetime. She cried for a while, her voice growing louder, saying that she saved a life and didn't do anything wrong. So why was everyone treating her this way? Even I didn't understand her. An indescribable sense of disparity welled up in me. If not for the $500,000 I gave her, both of them would have been dead already. To me, it was something that could be resolved in an instant. Yet they had turned it into a melodramatic devotion and salvation play. Rocky, hurry and open the door. I'll get angry too. I've begged you like this. If you still don't open the door, I'll leave. And once I'm gone, you won't find me. I turned off the lights, silently thinking, be my guest. I woke up the next day. Haley was gone. The next time I saw her was 2 days later. On her social media, she was in the Rocky Mountains, wearing a slender and vibrant outfit, each complementing the stark, cold snowy mountains. The caption read, the greatest loneliness in the world isn't being alone, but having resonant strings that don't play a harmonious tune. She was skilled at staged photos. She could make sweeping streets in a volunteer uniform look stunningly beautiful. In college, I loved looking at her social media photos, holding kittens and puppies, her eyes even clearer than the animals. At night, she called me, seeing that I didn't answer. She sent long voice messages. She also sent her location. I laughed wryly, recalling an old memory. 3 years ago, she was also traveling alone. At 9 p.m., she sent me a video, crying and saying she was scared in her guest house. I felt a pang of heartache, left work, and drove 6 hours overnight to be with her. She hugged me, calling me her hero. Now, block her. Go to sleep. I only slept a few hours, but was woken up by Serena's call. Senior, are you not going to manage your girlfriend? I was still half asleep. Serena yawned. Calls have been coming to me, saying you blocked her. She's furious and keeps crying. And I got yelled at too. How absurd. On our engagement day, she dared to block me, afraid I'd hinder her from saving someone. How come when I block someone to get some sleep, I can't find peace? If she calls you again, you block her too. Okay, I'll block her then. Senior, want some pancakes and bacon? Serena swung a white plastic bag, tossing bacon onto my desk. Seeing me finish eating, she asked with a grin, was it good? I nodded, unsure what she was hinting at. So, that car repair fee, is it? I looked at her speechlessly. A repair bill of over $100,000, and she thinks 2 pieces of bacon from who knows where would cover it. Just as I was about about to tease her. Haley's parents came in. They still wanted to see my parents, but unfortunately, my dad didn't even want to see me right now. Haley's father hung his head, apologizing softly. I cut him off. Uncle H, everyone has their own principles and choices. There's no right or wrong. Since a choice was made, one must bear the consequences. Haley's father was silent for a moment. What will it take for you to forgive Haley? I was non-committal. Don't look for me these next few days. I'm going on a trip. Haley's mother sighed in relief, muttering, Good, good. It's good for the young couple to go out and travel. Young couple? Fine. Serena, you have half a day to make arrangements. We're going to Alaska. Alaska. Let's go to Alaska. Serena interjected, her eyes full of anticipation. Haley's mother looked at us in confusion. She still didn't know her daughter had already left on her own. Haley's father reacted quickly, pulled out his phone, walked out the door, and soon we heard him cursing loudly. The two left awkwardly. Serena sighed. I really think Uncle H is a good person. I admitted that, due to his family's circumstances. He had always treated our family almost ingratiatingly. I never thought he was snobbish. On the contrary, I always considered him a responsible man. Serena pouted. Senior, you're so scheming. Sister Haley is going to get yelled at again. Shut up. Some things can be understood, but not spoken aloud. I think it's a bit petty how you're treating those two elders. I walked to the window, watching their receding figures. Speechless, Serena leaned in, tentatively asking, So, are we going to Alaska? I nodded wearily. Serena was usually quite erratic, but once the plane entered the Chiang-Hai Tibet Plateau, looking at the serene snow-capped mountains beneath the sky, she quieted down too. After a day of rest to acclimate to the altitude, we began our stop-and-go journey. The mountains were perpetually windy, and the densely packed leaves of the wishing trees rustled loudly in the wind. Serena stood on tiptoe, hung a yellow wish ribbon on a tree, clasped her hands together, her face full of piety. The wind swept her long hair, making it appear messy and tragically beautiful. She said that the wind would listen to your wishes and blow them into the ears of the gods. I asked her what she wished for. Her eyes reddened. She stared at me steadily for a moment, said nothing, then turned her head to look at the high, empty blue sky. My heart was uneasy, and I didn't dare to laugh at her. Serena's identity was a bit complicated. She was a junior from my university. Her resume landed on my dad's desk, and she quickly became his top secretary, also winning my mom's affection. Presumably, my dad always regretted not having a daughter, so my parents adopted her as their goddaughter, and then she was transferred to be my secretary, taking advantage of her favored position. She was always impudent and spoke wildly, but despite her eccentricities, she was extremely meticulous in her work, sightseeing during the day, and organizing and summarizing at night. Of course, I was in charge of the travel itinerary. By the end of the trip, it felt less like she was accompanying me, and more like I was accompanying her. The day before our return, the guest house owner's family insisted on having drinks with us. I didn't want to bring trouble upon myself, but Serena was utterly fearless. After drinking heartily, my head was spinning. The owner began hinting subtly about a marriage that was far away yet right in front of your eyes. Serena's cheeks were flushed, her mind probably a hazy mess, but she kept nodding enthusiastically at the owner. I woke up in the middle of the night, the world spinning around me, feeling someone squeeze into my quilt. The next day, I woke up to find Serena in my arms. I was utterly shocked and quickly checked my clothes. Thankfully, they were all still on. Serena kept taunting me. You scoundrel, you dog, taking advantage of me when I was drunk. If you like me, you can just say so. There's no need for this. Men, I understand them. You understand nothing. My head started throbbing. This is my room. You came in yourself. If I went into the wrong room, couldn't you have gone somewhere else and held me so tightly? I was completely drunk. How could I remember? I'm going to tell Godmother. My blood ran cold, and I shouted, I didn't do anything. Don't mess around. She stared at me coldly, then suddenly said in a saccharine voice, Brother, be gentle. It hurts. I nearly choked on the breath caught in my throat. She laughed loudly and ran off. After we returned, Haley made a huge scene, dressed in silk pajamas. She threw a tantrum at home, saying I was heartless, daring not to look for her for more than 10 days. She also said she knew all along that Serena had bad intentions, calling her a manipulative green tea girl and so on. She annoyed me terribly. Haley, the reason I'm still talking to you is to give you time to adjust to the breakup. She trembled as she cried, Honey, it's okay if others don't understand me, but you know me, don't you? She meant that I should have long been accustomed to her kind nature. However, the halo of love she had cast upon her had dissipated. My heart was cold, almost cruel. I told her to change her clothes and took her to the cat and dog shelter. In my senior year, a well-known stray cat at the school died, and she cried for half a day. To comfort her, I simply built a stray cat and dog shelter with her. It's still operating today, with considerable monthly expenses. Thanks to this shelter, she had an excellent reputation in the pet community. How long has it been since you last came here? 3 months. 2 2 months. Maybe. Do you know how much money this place costs every month? She shook her head with an innocent look in her eyes. This place needs rent, needs people to manage it, needs to buy feed, needs veterinary care, needs to investigate adopters' motives. Which of these doesn't cost money? And you just come by occasionally to take photos and post them on your social media. Your kindness, I pay for it. Her face flushed then paled. Haley, my indulgence in you was not excess happiness, nor was it for you to squander. I led her to the warehouse. These feeds are all imported. I heard Xiao Chio say that domestic ones are actually quite good, but you wouldn't allow it, thinking it was beneath you. I'd rather you save some money and buy more supplies to send to the mountain areas. Haley, you're actually not kind at all. You just like your persona of being kind. She broke down, crying and lunging at me. I pushed her away and left. Serena said I couldn't get a free night's sleep, that I had to compensate her by taking her out for dinner. This was a members-only private kitchen, built halfway up a mountain. Looking out the window, you could see the twinkling lights of countless homes. Haley used to love coming here, enjoying floral tea after the main course. Serena, however, only ordered plain iced lemon water. She knew that drinking tea would cause me insomnia. The atmosphere was slightly awkward. I knew she had a bit of a crush on me and was just thinking about how to handle it when Haley opened the door and walked in. There was no big fuss. She just sat beside me. Honey, Haley called me, but her eyes were fixed on Serena. Serena raised an eyebrow, showing no weakness. I really didn't want to get tangled with Haley anymore. Serena, let's go. Haley stopped me, questioning Serena. You're really something. You used to call me senior so sweetly, but all along you were thinking about my husband. Serena ran a hand through her hair. I never said I liked senior, but everyone knows I like him. Are you going to say you didn't know? She was uncharacteristically direct, admitting it so frankly that both Haley and I were taken aback. You just knew that senior loved no one but you, so you never cared about me. Haley sneered, heartless wretch, and I thought of you as a sister. Serena shook her head. Calling you senior was genuine, but you kept me as a sister just to see me embarrassed. She looked at me, her face serious. Liking someone but having to endure it, and then watching him get married. It's really sad. I suddenly remembered when she hung the wish ribbon at the mountain pass. Looking at me, she was also so serious and sad. Serena, she stood up and left. You two talk. I quickly got up to follow her. Haley grabbed me and shrieked, you're not allowed to leave. I shook off her hand. Haley, I told you we're over. She blocked the doorway, crying and begging for a hug. Honey, I was wrong. Give me another chance. I'll prove it to you. I was anxious, even inexplicably flustered, and pushed her away forcefully, running to catch up with Serena. When I reached the courtyard gate, I witnessed a jaw-dropping scene. Serena got into the car, drifted out the gate with a flick of the tail, and sped down the mountain. I was completely numb where I stood, wondering if I was dreaming. Since when did her driving skills become so incredible? Serena resigned. My dad was furious. Because of the engagement, he lost face completely, and his business was affected. Now Serena had left too. He ordered me to come home immediately, cursing for over an hour. Me is utterly useless. My mom, unusually, also lost her temper with me, adding fuel to the fire. I was uneasy, trying to convince Serena to stay. She said that for the past few years, she'd been carrying the title of secretary, but doing the work of a director, and it was time for her to relax and travel. Besides, if I don't leave, Senior Haley will start saying I'm a homewrecker. I feigned a casual tone. With me around, how would she dare? And I have nothing to do with her anymore. She tilted her head, smiling helplessly. I took her hand, mimicking her usual playful demeanor. A raise. Double pay. She gently pulled away. Senior, that won't do. Triple. No. Then what will do? She just stared at me intently, smiled, turned, and walked away. After Serena left, I suddenly felt inconvenienced everywhere. The person taking over was actually quite excellent, but I just couldn't get used to them. Sometimes, when busy in the office, I'd habitually call for Serena, but there was no response. It felt empty. She had been by my side for many years, yet she never said she liked me, nor did she threaten to harm herself. But in distant Alaska, that drunken night, she lost control. I couldn't imagine what embarrassing feelings she had when she slipped into my bed, or if she quietly cried in my arms, liking someone but having to endure it, and then watching him get married. It's really sad. Every time I thought of it, my heart ached. I called her, but no one answered, and she didn't reply to my WeChat messages. I threw my phone down and lay on the bed, memories flashing before my eyes. Some of Haley, some of Serena. The first time I saw Haley was at the freshman celebration. She was a sophomore then, the lead singer of the choir. Her rendition of Ave Maria was grand yet serene. She stood in the center of the stage, her face glowing with purity and sanctity. I was captivated. Later, Serena told me she was also in the choir at that time. I tried hard to recall, but no matter what, I couldn't remember where she stood. While I was swamped with work, Haley burst into the office. The security guards followed behind her. They still weren't quite brave enough to stop the former prospective boss's wife. Having not seen her for many days, she had lost a lot of weight, and much of her delicate beauty had faded. She looked around the office, confirmed that Serena had indeed resigned, and then, with a joyful tone, confessed to me. Last time Tony attempted suicide, his mother cursed Haley for ruining her son for 10 years. years and had been bedridden for over a month. Sick with anger, Tony said if his mom died, he wouldn't live either, and he insisted on seeing Haley one last time. Haley wanted to apologize. She swore to me that she could convince Tony not to commit suicide again, and then she would redo the engagement banquet with me. So, that's what she meant by proving it to me. Convincing him to live proved her persistent kindness. Apologizing proved her manners. And redoing the engagement banquet proved she would marry no one but me. I felt exhausted and amused at the same time. So much time had passed, and she hadn't shown any intention of apologizing to my parents. Yet now she was going to visit Tony's family to apologize. She once again walked off without hesitation. I was utterly annoyed, but had to tell 2 security guards to follow her. After all, Tony's character was truly despicable. From a distance, I saw her carrying several large gift bags and entering Tony's house. It was an old state-owned enterprise apartment building. I understood. Tony always acted like a high-ranking official's son, but his parents were actually just state-owned enterprise employees. But they didn't live there often. Sure enough, a moment later, I heard muffled gasps and the sound of furniture colliding from inside. A security guard kicked open the wooden door, and Haley's screams for help came from within. There were only 2 people in the room. Her clothes were torn, revealing large areas of skin, and her face was covered in tears and fear. I couldn't be bothered to intervene. The security guards rushed in and beat Tony half to death. Haley crawled towards me in terror, clutching my legs tightly, her lips trembling, unable to speak. I asked sarcastically, "Do you want to call the police? Someone's fighting. Look how pitifully he's being beaten. After all, he's the man who loved you for 10 years. She stared at me blankly, then suddenly stood up and began to stomp furiously on Tony, who lay on the ground. After Tony was imprisoned, Haley's family came again to express their gratitude. Haley's mother kept urging us to reconcile, saying that Haley's nature wasn't bad, just a little foolish. Haley still had innocent eyes, saying that no one would hinder our marriage now. She still thought I was just angry at Tony, and that I still cared about her. I was physically and mentally exhausted, and emphasized again, Haley, we broke up a long time ago. From the moment she concealed Tony, it was equivalent to betraying me. I looked at the 3 of them, my tone gradually chilling. Don't come here again, otherwise you'll be very embarrassed. Haley didn't believe me, throwing a hysterical fit, saying she loved me, couldn't live without me, and then saying I must still love her. Otherwise, why would I have saved her? Haley's father's expression was complex, and he slapped Haley across the face. Aren't you ashamed enough? Let's go. Haley lunged forward, screaming in question. Is it Serena? Is it her? Do you like her? I knew it. I smiled. Yes, I like her. She froze, cursing about dog and bitch and such, reaching out to grab my hair. Haley's parents dragged her away. She cried and struggled to lunge back, cursing me while saying she loved me. She was like a madwoman. A few days later, Haley video called me. She was hospitalized. In the video, her face was pale. She lay in a hospital bed, her eyes lifelessly staring at the ceiling. The casting, lighting, and filter were all quite good. I wonder which of her girlfriends filmed it. Honey, I'm so cold. Will you come and stay with me? Honey, please talk to me. Cold? I thought for a moment, then replied, I'll send your clothes over in a bit. I'll wait for you. I knew Honey still loved me. Honey, kiss. I love you too. Always loved you. Only you. I could feel her joy even through the screen. I called a delivery service, had all her clothes and other belongings left at my house packed up and sent to her. Then I deleted her. The company has been very busy lately, and without realizing it, I worked until 9 p.m. again. I leaned back in my chair, exhausted, and closed my eyes. Within 3 months, I had changed 3 secretaries. After all the changes, I realized I was just too used to Serena. She had been gone for 3 months, but it felt like 3 long years. Why hadn't I noticed it before? Did she hide it too well, or did I deliberately ignore it? I couldn't recall when she transformed from a timid young girl into someone like family to me. It felt as if she was simply meant to be by my side. But in this world, no one is obligated to be good to anyone else. After my feelings for Haley had been stripped away, I realized how blind I had been. Blind to the point of foolishness. So foolish that I didn't dare to recall Serena's goodness. I realized that what I had lost was not just a secretary who constantly called out Senior. Senior. Suddenly, an image flashed into my mind. On the night of the engagement, Serena pushed open the door, dragging Haley into my sight. I only saw Haley then, completely oblivious to the breathless Serena. I shot up, trembling all over. I had always thought I had waited for a new ending, but in reality, it was Serena. It was Serena who brought Haley back. She was the one who pulled me out of the cycle. At that moment, she should have been radiant, like a goddess, but I didn't even give her a second glance. And the broken headlights, how fast must she have been driving? Damn it, my hand shaking. I dialed her number. Answer the phone. Answer the phone. I frantically prayed in my heart. Answer the phone. The long rings finished, and the call wasn't answered. I dialed again. On the 5th try, the call finally connected. Hello? Serena's languid voice. I tried to calm my voice. Serena, where are you? All I heard was her faint breathing. I couldn't stand it anymore. anymore. Where are you? Tell me, now, she asked in surprise. What's wrong? Senior, are you crazy? I just took a shower. I'm drying my hair. I didn't want to waste another second. Where are you? She was silent again. Sure enough, she just didn't want to see me. I was incredibly anxious. I want to see you. I want to see you right now. She was silent for a long time, then asked, why? I didn't want to hide it anymore. Would it be too late if I said I miss you a lot? She didn't speak. My anxiety grew. Say something. Then I heard her sniffle. No, it's not too late. It's only 9:30. I said urgently, you know I don't mean that. She hung up the phone. Just as I was about to go crazy, I received a location pin from her on WeChat. It was at a gas station on the highway. She said, wait here. I instantly understood what she meant and yelled as I ran to the garage. Drive slowly. Be safe. You too. A full, round moon hung high in the sky. Serena leaned against the car door, smiling as she looked at me. I rushed over and hugged her tightly. It's truly good. It's not too late. Extra story 1. Serena drove anxiously, finally managing to find out where Haley had gone. She had to quickly bring that saintly bride back. Her driving skills weren't proficient. After all, she had only gotten her license less than 2 months ago. Idiot senior. Idiot. Idiot. Big idiot. She couldn't help but curse under her breath. As she cursed, tears started falling again. Did he really not know how much she liked him? She was already feeling so terrible, and he was making her go out and find his fiancée. He was truly brain dead. A sharp pain shot through her mind, and she felt a moment of disorientation. It turned out she had experienced this scene countless times before. Her legs trembled. Damn it. Bastard. 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 She broke down. She had seen the ending. The senior embracing Haley's corpse in the car, driving frantically towards the hospital. And finally, a truck ending the senior's life. You can't die. You can't die. I don't want you to die. Serena on the accelerator, almost wailing. Vast memories surged in, and she instantly transformed from a rookie into a top-tier race car driver, repeating countless gear shifts, double clutching, and drifts, repeating the same routes over and over, as if the data was etched into her bones. 1 minute, just 1 minute. As long as she could stop Haley in front of the Empire State Building, everything still had a chance. With a thunderous crash, Serena's car was sent flying. She had driven too fast. Even perfect driving skills were useless in the city. Her face was covered in blood. Her internal organs felt as if they had been shattered. Looking at the shattered car window, Serena smiled bitterly, helpless and deeply saddened. Senior, look, even when I'm about to die, you don't even know. A cold system prompt echoed in her mind. Would you like to rewind time? How many times had it been? She was utterly exhausted and chose yes again. Extra story 2. Sure enough, he still didn't see me. He only saw Senior Haley. I risked my life to bring your bride back. Couldn't you just look at me a little longer? TSK. This banquet is truly luxurious. He said he would even see flowers raining down from the sky soon. Serena sighed deeply, then smiled again. Never mind. At least he's alive. It's really so sad. My heart aches. It really hurts. Can I cry? I just want to cry for a while. Just for a little while. Extra story 3. The small charcoal stove quietly burned, emitting faint crackling sounds. Serena and Rocky sat on the carpet, gazing at the bright moon in the sky. It was another mid-autumn festival. Rocky held Serena tightly, whispering softly, Serena, I once had a very, very long nightmare, and I thought I would never wake up. Then, you appeared in my dream, like a god descending from heaven, and shattered my nightmare. Serena listened quietly, then suddenly asked him, Senior, do you still think of Senior Haley? Rocky embraced her tenderly. No, I only want you. Actually, Rocky knew Serena had a lingering resentment. At dinner, his parents teased Serena, asking her when she would get married, and whether they should call her their daughter or daughter-in-law now. But Serena didn't respond. The moonlight was bright, illuminating Serena's long eyelashes clearly. When she was quiet, she always carried an inexplicable sadness about her. Rocky suddenly remembered the scene of her hanging prayer flags at the mountain pass, and asked her, what wish did you make then? Serena leaned into his arms. I just wished you could have seen me earlier. A fierce gust of wind blew by, and sparks flew from the small charcoal stove. Would you like to rewind time? Would you like to rewind time? The system prompts that suddenly appeared in their minds made both of them tremble. Rocky's hair stood on end. He held Serena tightly. Serena, I have a very, very big secret. Do you want to hear it? What a coincidence. I happen to have a very, very big secret too. Extra story 4. The time rewind point was the university's freshman celebration. We agreed. You absolutely must see me. I'll be standing in the 3rd row, the 2nd position from the left. You have to see me. You have to keep looking at me. Rocky cupped Serena's face, kissing her wildly. I will definitely remember your face. I swear, even if my memory is wiped, I'll remember you. Extra story 5. This year's freshman celebration. The volunteer department's performance was quite unique. A chorus rendition of Ave Maria was grand and serene, especially the girl in the very center. I heard she was the new campus beauty, truly pretty. What was her name? Something like Yen? Rocky looked at her, but inexplicably felt a surge of annoyance. He turned his head, his gaze inadvertently sweeping over the choir behind her. One figure, timidly standing in the crowd. out. Rocky stared blankly at that girl, then came back to his senses, wiped his face, and found it covered in tears. She finished singing and walked off the stage. Rocky rushed over and stopped her. "Hi, classmate. My name is Rocky. Can we get to know each other?" Rocky impatiently and eagerly extended his hand to the girl. The girl stared blankly for a moment, then bravely extended her hand too. "Hello, my name is Serena. I'm a freshman." The two looked at each other, then suddenly asked simultaneously, "Have we met before?" The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.